Are we finally going to meet Celty in this episode? Unfortunately, no. But get ready for some exposition and some character moments. This episode is very heavy in foreshadowing and setup, while also getting to see how these characters interact with each other and how some of these stories intertwine. Hello, and welcome back to another in depth breakdown of every episode of Durarara. And today we are going to be talking about episode 3. So let's dive in. Episode 3 Rampant Evil. The episode begins with Simon trying to hand out flyers for his friend's Russian sushi restaurant. He meets some tourists and gives some directions, and as they walk away, we start to hear his inner monologue, signaling to us, the viewers, that he will be the narrator for today. He contemplates the city and the millions of strangers that might find connection there. And then the camera focuses on two people awash with color among a sea of gray-scaled silhouettes. Again, this highlights the importance placed on color in this anime, which will also be a focus of today's episode. But unfortunately for me, the two people who we get to see are Seiji, the weirdo who made a big scene at the beginning of the last episode, and the girl with the scar around her neck that Mikado had bumped into in the first episode. But before the anime delivers on what their deal is and how they might be connected, we see Mikado sitting in class as the teacher explains that they need class representatives. And here's where Simon brings up a reoccurring theme in the anime: transformation through anonymity. He says, "A new city, no one knows where you were, a chance for becoming someone new." It sounds a lot better in Japanese. But anyways, he says this as we see Mikado building up the courage to volunteer to be a class rep. But before he can raise his hand, Henri, the girl in glasses, beats him to the punch. Luckily for him, there are two positions open, and this scene kind of reminds me of a meet cute moment, as this is his chance to have a reason to talk to Henri, but there's also a lot of work going on in the background of this scene that helps build Mikado as a character. We get to see how perceptive he is. As he's contemplating on raising his hand to volunteer, he notices Henri apparently looking at him, but he realizes she's actually looking at the empty seat behind him. And his curiosity breaks him out of this blushing protagonist state, and he starts listening to the other boys talking in the classroom. And as we hear his fellow students speaking his inner thoughts aloud, how they kind of want to do it to be close to Henri, but also think that being class rep is going to be a pain in the ass, he realizes he might miss his chance to experience something new and raises his hand. Then we see him approach Henri about a meeting they will have to attend the next day. But as he's talking, we see that Henri notices Creepy Teach approaching and she zooms off. I do not blame you, girl. That man is creepy.